Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. We're your hosts. I'm Sybil Amuti.
And I'm Brandis Daniel.
What's up, great girlfriends?
Hey, great girlfriends.
Happy Wednesday.
Oh, my goodness.
I can scream
it's
right
almost
now.
December.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited, too.
Okay, because today we are about to blow the roof off of this workshop that's happening this evening.
Girl, I'm telling you, New York City, watch out. You're going to have like all these crazy women roaming the streets getting ready to kill it in 2017.
I am so on fire for this workshop. You don't understand. First of all, our workbook is doper than dope, and I'm really glad that it will be available for sale via PDF on our website within like a week or two. So I'm so excited about that. But I just feel really good that, first of all, and second of all, that was first of all. Second of all, we sold out. But I just think that the right women are going to be in the room. You know what I mean?
I do too, Sib. Somebody wrote in the Facebook group today about how excited they were about coming to the workshop, and we cannot wait to see you.
I know. I am so happy about that message. And for all of you that have been sending us, really great messages about when are we coming to your city and why haven't we done an event in Atlanta and, whatnot. We're coming. We are definitely coming to
We are definitely coming. We're not just saying this. We promise.
Right. One girlfriend was like, okay, being that you're from Memphis, I said, uh-oh, snaps. I felt that. She laid me out.
She did.
Yes, she did. She laid me out. Being that you're from Memphis, and I'm like, duly noted. Okay, you're right. We are from Memphis, and we do need to come back home and have another event. And I'm going to say that Brandis is the reason we haven't done that. And so,
okay.
I'm going to put that on Brandis. But next year, our calendar will be more robust with events. But we don't want you to miss New York. If you're here on December 14th, there are probably a handful of tickets left for the Mastermind. This is Brandis' favorite event.
A handful, Sybil. I'm so excited about our mastermind. So some ladies may go, well, what is the difference between the workshop and the mastermind? The workshop is a super, I'm talking about powered up experience where we're all working together and getting charged up for 2017 and what we want to see in our lives for 2017. And then also reflecting on this year and what we've been able to accomplish. The mastermind is super intimate where we're literally dealing with your specific challenge, your specific problem, your specific opportunity, and we're addressing you. And that's why we're making it so small and so intimate.
I love it. I'm very excited about that because I feel like branding is going to come up, and it's one of my favorite topics, and I can't wait to discuss it with the girlfriends. So we do have a handful of tickets left for our mastermind that you can purchase off of Eventbrite. And just make sure that you get them this week while the early bird special is going, because from today through December 5th, any of the purchases that you make, we will be donating a percentage of proceeds towards Covenant House. So 5% of our ticket sales are going back towards Covenant House in honor of Giving Tuesday. So please make sure you go and purchase now.
Absolutely. I'm excited. So, Sybil, you know how we always read iTunes reviews?
Yes.
Can I read part of an email that we got?
Is it under 30 seconds?
Under 30 seconds, I promise.
Okay, read it. Go ahead.
Well, no, first of all, the email is about 30 minutes. However, the part I'm going to read, but it's so amazing. So This actually came from one of our great girlfriends that's going to be at our workshop today, which is Joy Morris. And she said, Brandis and Sybil, my great, great girlfriends, I cannot describe how impactful this podcast has been in my life, but I'm sure going to try. I apologize in advance for how long this email is, but you two need to know how much God is using you to bless me and so many women I've shared this podcast with. I'm going to skip down to the bottom. She said, thank you so much for being such an inspiration and literally teaching us girls every step of the way. These practical ways of doing things, such as networking and targeting individuals you want in your circles, has changed my perspective and completely rerouted my way of thinking.
Wow.
There's so much I simply never knew, and I didn't realize that I needed to know that I'm learning from you amazing women. I was entirely too quick to take offense at not being seen or acknowledged before, but now I understand tactics better. And when one door closes or doesn't open, I know it's simply just not opening yet, but that the right one will in due time. I can't thank you enough, and I cannot wait to meet you both at the GG workshop tomorrow. All the best and much, much love. Joy Morris.
Oh, that is so exciting, Joy. Oh my gosh, we can't wait to meet you and hug you in person. Thank you so much for that message. I'm telling you, now, girlfriends, I actually, we can update this stat, Brandon. So I looked again. We're now at 87 countries. Get it, girlfriends?
What?
Get it, girlfriends? What you know about that? I'd love to know which countries are being represented each week. So 87 countries and 75 plus thousand downloads on Wednesdays.
That's so amazing. We love you from all over the country.
Yes.
Canada, we know y'all holding us down up there.
Yes. So it's so exciting. We thought this week, because we're starting to kick off for What Women Want 2017, which you will not want to miss, June 15th through 17th in New York City. We thought we would seed you guys with a little bit of some of the experience from 2016. And so this week's message is a power up with Michele Thornton, who we had on the podcast before on our episode, Being Strategic with Michele Thornton. And so if you've ever heard of Michele Thornton, and you know this episode is going to be powerful. If you haven't heard of Michele Thornton, I'm going to urge you to Google her. She has become such an advocate for us as the great girlfriends and for women, specifically women of color, over at Centric. And I really have a great respect for how she is taking her message around the nation and empowering women to really get very strategic around how they live their lives and being intentional.
She was amazing. I'm telling you, Sybil, we could not have picked a better person to open our conference.
No.
Absolutely incredible. And if you guys remember, she was actually on episode 47, and Sybil and I literally both felt like we were laying in Michele Thornton's lap talking to her.
Yes, it was like Big Sister Michele was just like rubbing us and just empowering us with so much wisdom and love and support and reinforcement. Just the kind of stuff you need. And it just felt so good. And Michele is just that. She has so much energy and authenticity, and she's beautiful and she's sharp. She's very, wise, and I just respect her.
Absolutely. So, girlfriend, you're in for a treat.
You're in for a treat. Get your pen and paper out. Don't forget.
Pen and paper.
Lots of tweetable moments are going to take place in this episode. Tweet them all. Be sure to tweet us at @the_greatGFS and enjoy. Yay! Welcome. We're so glad you're here this morning. For the VIPs, I hope you got a chance to wipe up all the little tears. We had a good, I came by and I couldn't stay the whole time, but the VIP breakfast was fantastic. So thank you all for being there. And we're so glad you're here. We're going to get right in. We have Michele Thornton here, who is the SVP of programming for Centric. I'm sorry, the microphone's just a little muffled, but we want to welcome, it's better, okay. We want to welcome Michele up. Please, throughout Michele's presentation, make sure you are engaged and taking great notes. And our hashtags for the day are the Great Girlfriends and Women Inspired. And if you have any questions, you can definitely save them towards the end. But let's give Michele a chance to just transform all of us with some great strategy. So presenting Michele Thornton, the author of the book Strategic. Come on up, Michele.
Hey, is my mic on?
Amazing.
Good morning. How are you guys doing this morning? Thanks, Sybil and Brandon. So let me correct that. I'm the head of television sales for Centric. I'm the money girl. They can work on program. I'm gonna track my dollars, okay? Hold that for me, Brandon. So everybody who's here early, you guys are supposed to be here. So you guys might want to go on and send a little thank you, because while we're here is part of God's plan for you and your life and your journey and your mission. So I'm really happy to be here. We had a really great podcast the other day. So I'm glad to be here on a Saturday morning as my kids are watching me run out the door. It's Saturday, Mommy. I said I don't do this often, but I'm going to hang out with my girlfriends today. You can go ahead. So listen, we're going to get right into it, right? Can you guys see? I feel pressed on, but it's all love. I feel good. So we have a big question. Why were we born? Why were we created? Why are we here? Take a look at this. Turn it up for me.
Use me. What would you have me to do? And that dream, that desire, that prayer brought me somehow to television.
And she's gonna learn that this life will hit you hard in the face. Wait for you to get back up just so it can kick you in the stomach. But getting the wind knocked out of you is the only way to remind your lungs how much they like the taste of air.
If we want to give all of our children a foundation for their dreams and opportunities worthy of their promise, if we want to give them that sense of limitless possibility, that belief that here in America, there is always something better out there if you're willing to work for it, then we must work like never before.
To those waiting with bated breath for that favorite media catchphrase to U-turn, I have only one thing to say. U-turn if you want to. The ladies not for turn.
You might never fail on the scale I did, but some failure in life is inevitable. It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default.
Powerful, right? So we stand here today because you can't be a great girlfriend unless you're a great individual. And you have to focus on that. It takes planning and strategy, and I penned a little book. And Tasha, were you watching me when I wrote this book? Because you said a lot of things this morning that we're going to cover today. But you really have to work on yourself. And we have earned the right to take that time to do it. And trust me, there are people in our lives and in our circle that suck our time that haven't earned the right to even stand in our stratosphere. And we're going to talk about that today. Y'all, I'm from Oakland, California. And I've done well by myself, but I'm a little girl from the hood, and I'm going to keep it real. So if I have to have you delete something or take it back, please do, because I don't want to get fired. I need my day job. You can go on. So listen, this is what we do, right? We get jobs, and we start businesses, and we have to memorize stuff. We have to know the mission statement, the product. We have to know the customer. We have to know all of these things. And ladies, nobody does it better than us. We were actually born strategists. God created us to strategize. We multitask better than anybody I know. We're putting on lipstick on a conference call. I got summer camp plans for my kids. I get stuff done in the course of the day. You do it from 4 a.m. until 8 a.m. I do it from 8 p.m. until midnight. Where's Tiffany R. Warren? You know, right? So our hour is different, but we get a lot of stuff done in the course of the day. But this is what I say. I took this and I crossed out some words because I have the power to do that. And so if you go to the next slide, what you'll see is that all of that is not even necessary. And if you go to the next slide, this is what I did for me. I took a business strategy and I said women should have the same strategy for their lives, right? For our core being, why we exist. I can't control everything, but what I can control is myself, my presence, how I stand here, what I look like. I took time and effort because there was fashion pressure this morning, right? I walked into Macy's last night. I said, oh my goodness, I got to come right. Ladies, come on in and join us. So I took time, how you show up and stand in front of someone and introduce yourself. In the book, what I write is that I invested in myself, and I'll talk a little bit about that. And I don't mean the clothes that I have on my back. I took a voice and diction class. I wanted to sound better. I wanted to be able to stand in front of someone and let them know they're the only person in the room, although there's 100. And that does not, you're not born with that. You have to practice and own your craft. You have to be able to own your position. That's all we have. And I say be the best at it. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is the main stage, main act today. Y'all taking notes? Because we're about to get busy. Go to the next slide. Our lives are a blank canvas. And I asked myself, why are you here? I'm going to tell you a story. Who did you want to meet and why? Did you guys have a plan? Tell you a quick story. I was speaking maybe 8 months ago, and I get a LinkedIn message, and a young lady shoots me a message. She goes, Miss Thornton, I understand you're going to be speaking at this venue, and I wanted to see if I can get 20 minutes. The event starts at 6. I'm going to get there at 5:30. And then she tells me I have on a pink dress, and I have on a bob. I'm a brown-skinned sister, about 5'8". And when I walked in the door, what was I doing? I was looking for her. She did the Jedi mind trick, right? But she became memorable. So I don't go someplace now and not know who's in the room, because it's okay. If I'm going to go and spend my time, I should get something from it, right? So I went to talk to a couple college kids. I said, nobody even linked me in. And y'all are the millennials. You guys own social media. So what is the purpose and point? Be memorable when you go someplace. Have a plan and an action. Know why you're here. Know what this young lady does. She started a school. Know this is a music exec, right? Know that I work in the media business. If y'all had a TV show, y'all hope you brought it to give to me today, right? These are the fashion gurus. You want to start a line? Did y'all you understand my point? Be prepared, and that's what this conversation is about, and that's what strategic is about. It's 10 pillars to make sure your game is tight, because we have to be better. Working hard is not the end game, because you have to be better than that. Working hard is just what you get paid for. What are you going to get a benefit from? How are you going to be really successful, right? This is for you, right? Somebody told me when I started working at A&E Television, she said, you may not have a family, but be the president, right? But you potentially can have both. And that's the point of the game. I don't know what God has for you, but it will be revealed to you, and you can't worry about it. You can't give energy to it, because your energy is served other places. I had my first child at 40. My second at 42. I'm going to be 50 June 25th. I look okay, right? And I didn't start my walk, but before I met my husband, I had already planned to adopt children, because nobody was going to tell me I wasn't going to have. It's a true story. I'd already reached out to adoption agencies, but they probably knew I'd be a bad mother. I don't know what happened. But God intervened. He said, let me give you your own so you won't go to jail when you beat him so bad. Okay? But you understand, I'm not going to feel bad where I am. I'm going to make a plan, and I'm going to walk in that. I'm not going to question what he has for me, but I'm going to be the best and be prepared. What I say is, when opportunity meets God's plan for you, magic happens, right? And that's what we're going to do. We're not going to talk about, a young lady said at the breakfast, and all of us are VIPs, but a young lady said at the breakfast that you stated something about, I'm not sure where I want, but it will all be. And you said, my story is probably not worthy of the table. So you set the tone. Don't say that. Don't ever, I hear women say all the time, oh, I'm not dressed appropriately, but I showed up anyway. Nobody was even paying attention to what you had on. Be your best self no matter how you show up. Let me tell you something. What I learned, to be great takes time. Time. And what I mean by that is that we give a whole lot of folks time that don't deserve it, right? So I put this in the book because I wanted to write a book. I'm extremely busy. And I was like, man, everyone gets my, so from 11:30 to 12 o'clock at night, I would get on the computer and I would search different websites. And I'm like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing? So I expanded it from 11:30 to 11. And in 6 months, I wrote a book. Now, it's only 100 pages. But there's a lot of information in that y'all want to see. Right? Because I made a decision before I turned 50, I would be an author. I planned and strategized. I didn't allow anything. I explained to my children from 11 to 12, you got to set expectations. Mommy's going to do this. So don't tell me you have a late home. I got to do your homework. Don't tell me this is for me. I'd wake up in the morning and get on the bus. I'd take the bus in. I'd write my book. When I get on an airplane, I would write my book. I honed in and focused. Ladies, nobody can tell us we can't do or be anything. But what we have to do is we have to create a list of folks who shouldn't be getting our time. And guess who's at the top of the list? Family members. Okay? I'm being serious. They'll suck your time. Your job, be good at your job so you can leave at a certain time. We have to do this. And we think that we have to be there 12 hours a day, but we really don't. When you get out of here, I want you to create a wheel of the time you spent, who gets it, and I want you to carve out an hour for yourself. Just 1 hour. What women can do in an hour, God did in a lifetime, because that's what he gave us, the power to do that. So everyone raise your hand who's going to make that commitment. Now everybody, I see this. Don't live here today and not do that. I see you polka dots. You didn't have you okay. Do this. If you get the book, look, the book is $10. I made it, everyone's like, don't sell the book for $10, but I sold it for $10 because it's not my main source of revenue. I wanted to have a gift. It's good when you can walk and know why you were created. Sometimes in a lifetime, we don't get to know that. So I know that my give back is to help women be their best self, right? Because at one point in time, I write in the book, I thought I was created to be somebody's wife who played in the NBA. Y'all, I could be on the NBA Wives. I'd be fighting somebody right now had I not realized what my purpose was, okay? And I'm being very serious. Y'all got to read the book. It's in the first few pages. I didn't go into detail, but it's enough juice for y'all to be entertained. So these are the 10 pillars, okay? It's about self-awareness. It's about transforming your circle, right? Let me just talk about our girlfriends. And they don't mean anything bad, but we can't have people in our circle who are praying against us. People are like, oh, no one would do that. Let me tell you how it starts. I don't want her to get that job because I don't want her to leave town because I need her. She's my best friend, right? You know what the second one is? I don't want her to go on this health kick because we like to go hang out and drink and eat. Who am I going to go with? And they put it in the universe. So it's not intentional, but you got to have people around you who are going to support your life missions if you sense to share it with them, right? It's critically important. Trust me, my grandmother taught me, don't share something until you know it's going to come to fruition. Relationships are critical to your success. We're going to talk about that. Ladies, let me tell you, 80% of women don't even ask for what they've earned. Forget about what we want or think we should have. You could line it up. I've earned this, and we don't even raise our hand and say, that's mine. And if I can't have that, will you help me get something else? Because I've earned the right for you to help me, even if it's not here. It's a very powerful tool that we don't even use, that men use all the time. They'll ask for anything. You know, they even ask for us, give me some dinner. It's midnight. Hell no. Our social game has to be on point. Look, I'm an author. I found out the hard way. I was like, I don't want to tweet. I don't even want to go on Facebook. But you have to be part of the game if you want to send out your message and have people follow you and buy your product. It's just part of the game. And as my daughter told me and Dorinda the other night, why y'all on Twitter when Snapchat is the new thing? Lord, she's 11. I can't. We have to execute our plan. E is in the right in the middle. Let me tell you how God worked it out. E is the fuel for the beginning and the end. You can have a great plan, and if you don't execute it, it becomes nothing, right? You got to execute whatever you decide to do. Let me ask, who's come to an event like this before? Did like some kind of women's event? Okay, Joan, stand up real quick and say who you are.
My name is Joan Davis, and I'm the event producer.
Okay, great. So now tell me, what was one memorable thing that you got out of an event like this? Who did you meet that they did something for you that was very memorable?
No one.
Okay. And that was not staged, but do you know how many times we come to an event like this and we don't even know the person sitting next to us? We don't even know. And I've had people follow with me one time and have an attitude. I'm busy, follow me 10 times. If I want to sell something, I have to call someone 10 times in order to sell my product. And I'm not offended by it, so don't get offended if someone doesn't respond the first time. See, because they're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you. So you follow up to the point where you're irritating in a nice way. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, we're worth the investment of following up, of executing our plan, and we know we need people in order to do that, and we don't even follow up enough because we get offended, or whatever the case is, at least 10 times. And after the 10, trust me, I'm like, oh, they're real serious about who they are and the conversation they want to have with me. right? You know how many times people have come into my office mad with the attitude, I didn't get what I want. We all have to be actresses. And I'm going to just tell you this, and I'm going to move on, because we know we're labeled. I had someone tell me, but why are you so angry? No, I'm not angry. You can't tell a black woman that. I'm disappointed. But that stigma will follow you, so we just have to understand where we are in good times and bad and work through it. We stay and work through it, or we leave. We have options, but don't have an attitude. Help others, serve your way forward, invest in yourself. I talked about, I'm going to talk about crafting your story, and the K on my front of my book is not there. It's silent, but the K stands for karma. How you walk in this life, it will be given back to you. And what you'll read in the book, when I was 25 years old and broke up with the NBA player, I had to clean houses for a living. And so there's not a hotel I don't stay in now that I don't leave a gratuity on the bed, because it wasn't my station in life, but I respect theirs. I make sure that I treat people how I want to be treated. I walk in a way that is gracious. And I'll talk about at the very end, there's an upscale article coming out about me, and I'm going to talk about that at the very end. Hold on. So let's talk about this real quick. And I talked about some, but let's talk about self-awareness. People are like, oh, I know me. I'm very self-aware. See, self-awareness is being able to see on the side, right? Being able to see who's blocking you at the table when you speak, their reaction, that they're not paying attention. See, self-awareness is understanding your complete circle, because until you know where the roadblocks are, you can't win. Why didn't I get that job? Why did that man not call me back? Why? Let's not ask why. Let's pay attention. Give you a true story that's in the book. I applied for this job. You know, they say, give me references. Then you give people you know gonna say something good, right? Because that's just dumb not to. That's just plain stupid. You know, you vet your resources. And this brother from A&E in history, he hired me, and he says, Michelle, I'm gonna tell you this story. One of your references said I wouldn't hire you. I said, what in the? And it blindsided me, because I had already vetted him. But what I didn't realize, the signs he had given me, he had never called me back right away. When I asked him to go to lunch, he would kind of move me around, and I wasn't a priority. See, he had given me all the symbols that he wasn't really feeling me, even though I worked hard for him, delivered everything. I should have never given his name as a reference. Don't do it to yourself. Know who is on your team succinctly, because not what they tell you, but because of the signs they show you when you're interacting with them. Right? You're trying to get a loan for a business. Don't put someone down who you're not sure about. It is so important. Self-awareness. We have to know what's going on around us at all times, and it's easy to own. Trust me, once you know, and now you'll never hear that word again and not remember the story I just told you, ever. Don't be the smartest person in your crew because you think it's cute. Special. You feel special? No. Have people smarter than you. Have people you can grow with. I always say I don't really have a mentor. I did, but now I don't. Mentor is a really big word. See, now there are other words to replace that. I have an advisor, and I have an advocate, and if I need some money, I have a sponsor. And those don't take the same commitment. I don't have to give them my life story in order for them to be aligned with me, to help me move or get a job or do whatever I need to do. Right? Mentor is a big word, man, and everyone's looking for one. People call me, Miss Thornton, can you be my mentor? No, because I got 2 little kids at home that need a mentor. But I can make a call on your behalf and help you get that job. Believe me, they will take my phone call. Okay, so don't get caught up in titles and all of this. Surround yourself with people. Part of my crew is here. They know, and they'll go down fighting for me. Tiffany R. Warren had to pull a switchblade on someone before. I had to tell the story. Okay, it wasn't her, it was my friend Coco. She couldn't make it today, but I just wanted to tell y'all that story. You know, they got the Vaseline out there like, what? What happened? You gotta have a crew like that. You know, you get to a new job. I left CNN, was there 6 years, because they told me they didn't think people would follow me. I could be a leader there. I'll say that. And so I decided to leave. I devised the plan, but it's in the book, so you all have to buy the book to know the rest of the story. So when you say it was a company, it was them. You can put that out there too. Right, but when I got to work, I looked around at the table. I said, who am I going to build a relationship here? Who do I think I can trust? Let me do some research on that person. Let me see who they hang out outside of here. And I had an assistant help me, the assistant that I brought in, because the one that was given to me, she had to go. very unloyal. And she's proven that to me, right? So you have to understand, you have to move people out because they asked for it. No, you're not being malicious. You asked me to do that through your actions. So let me tell you, research says, and you know, you can't sell a product and service unless you do a little research, right? You have to know. Entrepreneurs come up to me all the time. Well, I said, well, who's your competition? What's going on in the marketplace? What are you selling? Who are you? What is their brand position? You have to understand. So let me tell you, when you meet someone, go to the next, just hit the button. Oh, I don't know why this does this on this line. No, go back. Presidents of companies, Fortune 500 companies say they've made a decision about you the way you shake their hand. Now, let me tell you something. This is what women's burden is. It can't be too hard. You can't stare at them too long, especially when you're 5'11" with shoes on, because then they feel uncomfortable. You're trying to intimidate them. My point is that you have to understand what you're doing at all times. And people can say it's a burden, but I feel like it's an advantage. See, because now I know the rules of engagement. Because once you know the rules, what can you do? You can win, right? You can at least engage yourself enough to play the game and potentially win. So now I'm always thinking about this. Let me not shake this little man's hand too hard because I know he ain't gonna wanna hire me. He only 5'7". But if he's 6'2", maybe I can shake it a little harder. How you doing, Brandon? Good to meet you. Right, but if it's just like, right. But you should know, I Googled that. I understood when I was getting a new job, it says, why would someone want to hire me? How I look, how I present myself, how I shake their hand and follow up, right? Oh, I love to send people a FedEx box, and it's empty with a little note. I just want to make sure you would take my package. I just want to make sure you open it. So when you call, you know if they did or not because they're laughing, right? They're going to at least take your call. But you have to take time and energy for us. We're worth it. This is what I found out. I was at a conference, and the woman went through this exercise. She said, okay, work with a partner, and I want you to tell them the greatest thing that's ever happened to you, right? So this girl, she was so excited. I said, okay, you go first. She's like, Michele, I gave my grandfather a 75th birthday party, but let me tell you why it was so big. Because he was an icon in our family. He did so much, and I had an opportunity to do that. And I'm staring at her like Puffy would do with his mouth open, like this. You know, I don't like close his lips. And I said, but that's the greatest thing that's happened to him. So let's make sure that we don't categorize the greatest thing that's happened to us as something we've done for someone else, because, see, that's what we do. We'll go through this life and be like, I raised my kids, and I helped my husband start his business, and I mentored people, and I got people hired, and I did all these things. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then we're not where we're supposed to be, and God is laughing at us because he says, that's your fault. I gave you all the tools to be who I created you to be. You're not walking in them. You're not. You're giving them to someone else. Let's not do that. So let me tell you about this. It's so important to craft your story. So I talked about time, right? I talked about building relationships. I talked about telling people that you're going to be in the room. Now, this is the biggest part of the game. When you get there, what are you going to tell them? Do you even know who you are in 1 minute? Can you define your brand? And it doesn't matter. You could be a college student. You should still know I'm a straight A student. My professor loved me. I did a project. I started a petition, right? I'm memorable at my school. And this is how I'm going to help your company. Because you have to know who you are, and then you have to know what you want to ask for them. So I know exactly who I am, very succinctly. I'm a wife and a mother, a media executive. I love black culture. I work for BET Networks. I was the woman who raised her hand and said, let's make Centric the first network design for us. Right? I raised my hand and said that at the table, and Deborah Lee is like, I love that idea. Who are you? When you meet somebody you need something from, are you going to be able to get what you need from them because you know exactly who you are? It's really important. You know who you are, and you're walking in that. And now what you're trying to do is help other people identify that. And your daughter, right? My daughter thinks she's me. No, you ain't me yet. Okay? No, you can't know. Sit down someplace. But she will be, because I'm giving her those lessons. I'm aligning it for her. Let me tell you about this black enterprise, upscale, sorry. Black enterprise better get on it. Upscale article. So I read this and it said Wonder Woman, and it made me feel uncomfortable. Seriously, like when I read it, I was ill. And Yvonne will tell you, because I called her, I said, can I change some of the words in the article? Wonder Woman? Powerful? That's not me. And then I sent it to 3 advisors. And they said, Michele Thornton, that is you. You are a Wonder Woman. You are powerful. And they made me own that. And so I'm comfortable with this now because I'm going to own what I am and what I do for others. Because what I write in the article is my power comes from the fact that I can hire people who look like me and change someone's life trajectory. People who don't look like the face of America. I can hire them, and my whole team looks like me. And I'm proud to say that. That is power. Right? Not power because I can get into a restaurant or because I can have someone do, but I do that too. You know, but I can sit in the front row. That's not power. Power is standing here because I wrote a book for you so that your lives hopefully can be better and different, that you can put a plan and strategy together, that you won't leave here the same person, that you will go home and do the work necessary to walk in your path. Don't leave here and not know the person next to you. Don't leave here and not do something. Don't go to the next event the same way, sitting in a chair and not do something. Don't do that. You're supposed to be here this morning. Your name was written on it for a reason. The next panel, stay engaged. It's a message for you. There's not that many women in the room. So what are you going to do with it? What's going to be your story? 10 years ago, I sat in a chair just like that and said, I'm going to stand here one day and tell this story in the way that I was created to do. Y'all good? Y'all ready for the next act? Excellent. Thank you for having me here this morning. It is an honor.
Well, girlfriends, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, Michele was so fantastic at What Women Want 2016. You don't want to miss 2017. The dates will be June 15th through 17th in New York City. Please save those dates and make sure you're signed up for our newsletter so that when we set the sales and make them open to the public, you'll be the first to know. And
absolutely.
We can't close without thanking those husbands.
Thank you, Rich Daniel. You're so cute.
That's so sweet.
Cute. You look so cute today.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh, Kwaku, you got that. You just got that vibe, boy. Love you, Kwaku. Yes, and thank you to our kids. Thank you, Sam and Dilly.
And thank you to Miss Sky, who, by the way, is taking steps.
You taking steps. Tell her to sit down. It's too early for that.
Sit your butt down and rest,
Yes, Sky. Oh, so thank you, kids, and thank you to our sisters, brothers, nephews, nieces, family all around the world, and to you, great girlfriends, for trusting us as your go-to source for everything life, love, and laughter.
Absolutely. So, but I have to do one quick shout out, and that is to my nephew, PJ, who has celebrated a birthday. So happy birthday, PJ.
Happy birthday, PJ. That's awesome.
So you guys can check us out on social. Check us out on our Instagram.
The Great Girlfriends.
On Twitter.
_Great GFS.
And on Facebook.
The Great Girlfriends.
And make sure you're in our Facebook group. We're at about 13,500 women who are super active, super supportive, and really incredible. Just an incredible community.
Absolutely. Make sure you listen every week on iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Bean, Podcast Republic, Blueberry, and every other podcasting service. And last but not least, make sure you post your questions online, share with your friends.
Keep listening
and keep
being
a great
girlfriend.
I'm Sybil.
And I'm Brandis.
And we're signing off.
Bye, guys. We love you.
Bye.